Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Phone call here sponsored by go.tagjag.com/petco. You can save 10% on your next Petco order by heading over to that link. This is Chris.
Hey, Chris, it's Kevin.
Hey.
A friend of mine wants to set up a new home theater setup, and I've heard that PlayStation 3s are supposed to be good for the high definition. He's got a 1080p TV, but that's basically it. What are your thoughts?
Well, I can tell you this. As far as the Blu-ray players out on the marketplace, for my money, it was the PS3. Fantastic quality, absolutely. I mean, it's Sony. And of course, Sony championed the Blu-ray spec. But of all the Blu-ray players that were out there, I thought, well, if I'm going to spend the money on one, I want it to be able to do this, that, and the other thing. And so the PS3 made a fantastic option for that. And I don't think I'm the only person who would say that. There are a lot of Blu-ray players in the field. But to me, it was the PS3 and then everything else. And I don't even own a lot of PS3 games. But see, at least you would have the ability to get a PS3 game at some point and have that Blu-ray player, which you were going to want anyway. So it's kind of like an all-in-one type of system. So yes, you could just get a regular old component, maybe spend less money, but I don't have an issue with the PS3 in terms of its Blu-ray capabilities. Fantastic quality. Where I think most people skimp is where they shouldn't, and that's specifically with sound. They get the cheapest speakers, so they may have amazing visuals, but if you don't complement that with an amazing array of audios, it's really not gonna give you the same impact. So save money, but also spend money. And I realize it's a bit general, but what I'm saying is don't concentrate so much on the visuals that you forget the audio components. And without both of them, it's not really home entertainment in general. You need both. So that if you're asking, like, what does someone have to consider with a home theater, that's the basis. In terms of actual components beyond what you've kind of thrown out there. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. They change over time. I've certainly added different components to my home entertainment system, and making it such that I'm happy, and I don't feel like I've broken the budget. So I've done my best to keep a balance between good audio, good video, good experience. And optimization certainly is as much a part of it as well. It's not just having good stuff, it's making sure the lighting in the room is correct, and the color settings on your screen are correct, and the spacing of the speakers are correct. There's a lot to consider, certainly, and depending on where you buy it, sometimes they'll even offer that help in getting things set up and optimizing the space that you happen to have that home entertainment center set up in. And I'm sure everybody's got a completely different tip related to setting up a home entertainment center. Everybody has the one thing that they believe you need to have in that environment, but you've got the baseline, the audio, the video, and then everything else is kind of dressing.
Okay, so I know next to nothing about modern consoles. Do they all come with a Blu-ray and a remote control?
Well, no. That's a good question to ask. And if you're talking about gaming consoles or just
Talking about the PS3 specifically.
Oh yeah, no, the PS3 it is a Blu-ray player. Yes. Every PS3 you buy is a Blu-ray player. The controller can act as the remote. However, they have the dedicated remote, which I recommend buying a separate remote. Or you could get a universal remote and have that same type of features and functionality. So if you don't want to get just the remote specifically for the Blu-ray features on the PS3, you could use a universal remote potentially that supports the PS3 features.
Sweet.
Which, well, and to tell you the truth, actually, probably something you want to look into anyway, because if you're dealing with a variety of components, even if they were all, say, made by Sony, not every one of those remote controls is going to work with the various devices.
Makes sense.
So if you haven't, there's a lot of good universal remote controls. I've owned a few over the years. Everybody again has got their favorite. Ultimately, I'm actually moving the direction to see if I can find universal control functionality inside of an iPhone app, because I've got my iPhone with me anyway. I'm connected to the network with all of my devices anyway. If I can find that conduit, it's easy to use an iPhone. And most universal remote controls are a bit of a pain to manage with the various devices out there. Even the ones that are supposedly good aren't always that great.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I know the Xbox 360 does, but is there a way to make the PS3 recognized as a media center extender?
Yes. Well, no, not in. Yes and no. It is DLNA compatible. And there's better software that's available to make it work with your entire home network. But as far as a media center extender in the Microsoft capacity, no, not that I know of.